Can I tell the radio listeners what you're actually
Sure.
doing? It's
Trying to.
fantastic. This the Skyhawk Talk program is filmed for internet purposes because it's also available if you want to actually see how good looking Coach McMillan is.
Please don't get on the internet and check it out.
And I think and I always do this too. After you take the paper off your straw, you play with the straw paper. As a matter of fact, there's this little thing where if it's real kinked up, you can add water to
and
it.
it shrivels out.
You've seen that?
Oh, yeah. I do it all the time.
That's the greatest. Me too. So he was throwing his straw paper at the camera. And did you hit it?
I hit just underneath it.
No. You'll get it next week.
Yeah,
Coach.
It says play. I hit the play part.
Yeah, he just didn't know. He couldn't see far enough. Coach, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing good.
Good. Just had practice?
Yeah, we practice late on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 4:30s as early as we can get off because of classes.
Gotcha.
And that's not good. I mean, we'd rather be off a lot earlier for the kids to get some rest. And then the crazy thing about Tuesday, Thursday is with our classes on Tuesday, Thursday, we don't have the entire team but an hour.
Oh.
So we actually practice from like 1:15 to 3:45
with split.
But from 1:15 until 1:30, we don't have some of them, and then from 1:30 to 2:30, the whole team's there, and then from 2:30 to 3, we have a different part of the team. So we have 3 different groups, and so
are the guards even together? Or
no, it's random and whatever, and so I mean, you do what you got to do for that first hour, and then you try to get in shooting stuff around it, the things that you don't need the whole team for, but it's a good thing and a bad thing. One is a lot of it's because we've got 2 engineering majors, and they're having to they have one class, and this is when it's offered, and there's nothing you can do about it. And they've got a lot of kids taking labs. But I hope, I guess, Chancellor, if you're listening, this is a push for priority scheduling so we could get it and get the kids into practice.
It is tough. I don't think people realize how much the student athletes have to juggle. Coach, you've coached for a long time. I know you've had morning practices, afternoon practices. Does it make a difference? I mean, I know sometimes in the afternoon classes the students are not quite as alert, and maybe even in the morning they might not be as alert. Can you tell what time of day how it impacts a player in practice? I know it shouldn't, but
well, it's probably the same as a teacher. When I talk, it depends on the kid. Some kids are morning, some are afternoon, some are never. Some are never paying attention. But I never liked mornings as a coach, practicing early in the mornings, except when you throw it on every once in a while because you need to get them out for the weekend because everybody seems to be excited because their weekend's coming. We had my first year here, I think my first 2 years here, we had 1 o'clock, and that was always really good because we could leave. The biggest thing about priority scheduling is, for me, would not be practice times. It would be not missing class on the road.
Right.
Because we would always – everybody made fun of us that first year that we were going up to the OVC championship, and every team's checking in early and whatever, and it was like, when are y'all going to check in? Well, we're going to go to class, and then we'll leave. And they were like, but the OVC championship is this week. And they're like, yeah, and we have classes, and we'll leave when classes are over. And that's what
you won the championship.
And we won the championship, and that's what we've always done whenever we can. But now we can't worry about it because we've got some classes that go till 9 o'clock at night, and so we can't worry about it. We just have to leave when we have to leave.
Another thing I haven't really thought about, obviously, when you're playing a game, you schedule the pregame meals so you know when your team eats. But practice, I guess the players are kind of on their own, and there's kind of a science to that.
Yeah, and there's times this year that when we have home games, we'll miss classes, and I don't like that at all. But again, there's nothing you can do about it. When somebody has a class from 6 to 9 p.m. on Wednesdays, I mean, there's just nothing you can do about it. And so we do our best to try to coordinate, and our big thing has always been, if there's a conflict between practice and class, there is not a conflict for practice. You're going to class,
right?
And that's why. And we have managers or one of our coaches will be sitting over there, and their little watch will go off. And so no matter what we're doing in practice, if it's Chris Brinkley's time to go to class, they walk over and say, "Chris, go to class." You could be in the middle of getting your rear end chewed about something. We could be transitioning up and down the floor. It doesn't matter. When that watch goes off, you're going to class.
Wow.
So.
Coach, let's talk about your games this past week. We'll start with the game against Eastern Kentucky. That was on Thursday night. You had a 10-point lead at the half. You end up winning that one 76-63. A nice win for your team. You had a bigger lead than that final score, and one of your thoughts were in the postgame was that you still played well, but you didn't play the full 40 minutes.
No, we played. It was a roller coaster game. I think if you go back and look, that we pushed the lead from 10 to 20 like 4 separate times, and we've got to be able to sustain pushing it from 10 to 20. And then holding it there, and then pushing from 20 to 25, and holding it there, and then pushing it out. And we didn't do that in that ball game, and I was really disappointed in that, and I was disappointed that we gave up a lot of rebounds. And when we left today, we've made a deal. We run for one thing, and that's rebounds. And so I left, and they were running because the rebounds you see right there. They got almost half their shots they got back, and we're just going to have to do a better job.
In that game, Asia Jones with 36, which was a career high, impressive. 12 of 17 from the field, 12 of 14 from the free throw line. She's one of those players, and I said it the other night, where she just gets her points, and you look down and you go, wow, she's got 20. Wait, she has 30. Wait, she has a chance to get a career high. And it's not really that flashy. She just doesn't.
No, it's because, you notice when somebody's bombing threes or taking it to the rim and doing flat. I mean, she just, it's very simple what she does. She catches it and she squares up, and if you let her shoot it, she shoots it. And if you don't, she drives it. And then if somebody else shoots it, she tries to go get it. And
right.
A lot of times you don't notice offensive rebound putbacks, and then she'll get fouled and walk up the free throw line, and she makes free throws. She can get those kind of numbers, and she's going to have to do that for us. Somebody's going to have to do that and step up for us and be that player. And right now she's doing a good job.
36 points on 17 shots is almost unheard of.
That's pretty efficient.
Yes.
The new thing in basketball analytics that you hear everybody talking about is efficiency, and so to take 17 shots and get 36 points, I mean, that's extremely, extremely efficient.
It's also, she may have the most casual 15-footer that I've ever seen in my entire life. It's very quick. It's very efficient.
Well, and me being the not very good coach that I am, when she first got here, I tried to change it because I wanted her to jump more and be more explosive, and she was awful at it, and so I kind of gave up and didn't say anything to her, and then she's just kind of started doing this, and so being the smart coach that I am, I've kept my mouth shut.
We talked about that one day, though, because if a player doesn't have the proper shooting form or the form that you think that they should have, how much do you tweak it? Because they have all these years where they've developed the way they shoot the ball.
Yeah, and she's different because she'll catch the ball, and the shot that she shoots, the reason that you kind of have to let her do it is because if you kind of take that away, you jump at her, and then she's fixing to drive.
Right.
And that's what she wants to do. So you kind of back off and let her do that. And she's just kind of developed a way of scoring, and that's what you love about kids is that whenever we talk to our kids about playing, we go, okay, how do you want to score? How are you going to score? What's your move to score? What are you going to do? And most of the times they look at you like, I don't have the way to score. And and I could tell you, if I play one-on-one with my boys, I can tell you what I'm going to do every single time. And then if you take that away, I'm going to do this every single time. And if you take that away, it's going to be one of two things. And then if I can't score on that, I'm going to get beat.
Right.
Well, most of our kids don't have that. Most kids today don't have that. They don't have a move that they love, that they go to all the time. Well, Asia's is, I'm going to make a 15-footer. And if you come up and guard me on that 15-footer, I'm about to drive. Yep. And if you cut me off, I'm going to spin.
Yeah.
And that's what she does, and she does it every time, and she's pretty productive.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because I recently saw a video on Kobe, who's one of the most prolific scorers in the history of basketball, and he would watch Michael Jordan videos and Magic Johnson in the older videos and learn all these moves, and he would say, if you do this, I'm going to do this. If you don't give me this, I'm going to take this. And he had about 30 different moves in his arsenal. And, of course, 1, 2, and 3 are the go-to moves, but he had 4 through 30.
Sure. And he, like Asia, I was very different because I couldn't dribble. And so that cut down my number of moves from, 40 to 4. Because when you're dribbling, you've got, am I taking it towards the hole? Am I dribbling it behind my back, setting up a move? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Well, you can do all that stuff. I can't do all that. If I start dribbling, I'm going to the rim, and that's it. But she is kind of developing. She's growing up. If you watch us play and watched her play, she's growing up right before our eyes.
Oh, yeah.
She's getting better, from 5 games ago.
Yes.
So, who knows
but I
what
remember asking you after Jasmine and Heather's freshman year, can they get better?
And I
you
told
said,
yes.
Lord, I hope so. And you said,
did.
yeah, they should.
Yeah.
And then I asked you that after the sophomore year. And you said, they better. And then after the junior year, they better.
Right.
So I remember when Asia looked like Bambi on ice at the beginning of her freshman season.
That's a good.
No, it really was. She looked confused and not confident and she was okay. And then all of a sudden, early in the season, she figured it out. and she improved every game until the OVC championship and the trip to North Carolina. She's doing the same thing this year,
and she's getting better. And, and I hope we're going to continue to see the same progression. And the thing that if you really want to know how good she is, you watch her teammates and see if any of them start doing the same thing. Because we talked about Heather and Jasmine, and their challenge was, we know you can do it, but can you put it in someone else? You don't know if somebody's truly great. Can they inspire somebody else to do that? And you can see that what they did with Megan White, what Megan and Jasmine and Heather did with Asia Jones and Katie Schubert, and they made those people come on, and hopefully Asia's going to be doing some of the same stuff.
Other player that we talked quite a bit about in our pregame and postgames was Chelsea Roberts. Yeah. Since her minutes have increased, your team plays better.
And it's funny, we've kind of done a substitution pattern for the last 2 or 3 games, and I had David Hart give me some numbers, and
he's an accountant,
and it spit out Chelsea Roberts was the second most productive at the time for when she's in the game, and we just play better. She's kind of a glue player. She plays so hard, and I think that's kind of something that we need out on the floor, or we definitely need it out on the floor. And the funny thing was that nobody knows, she had 7 steals in the next game.
Yes, we'll go to that box score.
And the thing about it was, this is what nobody will know. Again, we're such great coaches. She was playing out of position the whole time on the press.
Wow.
And she had 7 steals. And I don't know if it's because she was so uncomfortable, she thought she had to play so hard. I don't know if it was the natural position for her to be in. And again, it's one of those where we really don't care. We're just going to put her back there.
Yeah.
If it worked, we're not real smart coaches. If something works, we're going to keep doing it. Yeah. And so she'll probably be back there if I had to guess.
One of the things, too, that she had struggled with was her shooting percentage. I think every time I'm near the Elam Center, she's down there shooting at a basket. So it's obvious that she can shoot the ball. But, Coach, in the last couple of games, she's found confidence in her scoring. She had 12 against Morehead State, 14 against Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, and again, she can get to the rim and do some things. And she's one that's kind of like Asia. She's growing up right in front of our eyes. And she has just turned into a necessity for us on the floor. And I think everybody is kind of gravitating towards her. And, I tell our team every year in the beginning of the year, we're going to gravitate towards something. And if you think about it, you in your life, you're going to gravitate towards certain people and certain things. And what you hope is that your team is going to gravitate towards the people who have the personality that are going to help you win. They can gravitate towards my kids gravitate towards me at home cleaning the house. And that's not a good thing because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
They need to gravitate towards their mama who keeps everything clean all the time.
Gotcha.
So we don't want our players to gravitate towards me cleaning the house. We want them gravitating towards my wife cleaning the house. And that's what you hope, that they pick the people and follow the people that are and think about it. Now we're getting into our philosophy lesson for the day that we always do, but that's what you want your kids to do. You want them to gravitate towards the people that are going to do the right things for them. Well, it's the same thing on a basketball team.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, my example to my son this is getting really personal now, is that when I was in school, I don't think they do this anymore, they would put you in groups and classes based on where you tested. So like those who tested higher were in one class, and those who tested the lowest were in another class. I really don't think they do that anymore. They might. So what would happen was, even though I was the 23rd best student in my 23 classmates in my class, the peer pressure was for me to do well because it mattered to all the people that I was around. So I did my homework more, I studied more.
That's the exact same concept.
But I gravitated toward better grades because of peer pressure can be a good thing.
Yes, and we're hoping, and we're kind of seeing that that our team seems to be kind of gravitating towards Chelsea. It just seems.
And she's older. She
is older. She's a junior, and she's been here and she's seen it for a year, and we think that's a bigger deal than I think. I think that being involved in our program and seeing it and living it for a year, there is a big difference. I mean, you see very few freshmen come in and play good right away because it takes them half the year to figure it out.
Asia is an example.
Very few first-year players. They come back the second year and it's like, wow, what were they doing last year? And so,
and Rakisha is one of the greatest examples.
Rakisha is one of the biggest examples. It took her 3 years to figure it out,
but she did.
Yeah, and so I think I'm probably a little hard on the ones that are just figuring it out for the first time, but she is definitely one right now now that is a key, and she's fun to watch because she just plays so hard.
Coach, one other note, and then we'll take a break. You had 31 assists in the win over Morehead State. School record. The last time that UT Martin had even close to that was in 1986. So coaches love when you get assists. On 39 baskets, you had 31 assists.
That's an awesome stat. And West Tennessee has such knowledgeable fans, and I know our fans love it when they see people sharing the ball. I mean, that's I don't want to say old school because that makes you and me getting really, really old, but it's old school basketball when you share the basketball. I mean, today when you turn on and watch ESPN, how many times are they going to show 31 assists?
Never.
They're not. They're going to show the one-on-one play that somebody went in there and drove in and dunked, or somebody pulled them, did this or did that or did the other. So these kids are being filled with not assists. And so to have them come out and say, you know what, I think we're going to share the ball and we're going to see what we can do doing it that way, and to have them do it and then get rewarded for it and get 99 points, you want to walk up to them and go, okay, are you smart enough to figure this out?
And no player had double-digit assists. Katie had 9, 5 for Jessie, 5 for Asia, 4 for Charisma. So, I mean, everybody was spreading the wealth.
Yeah, and 4 for Danielle. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids with 4 or more assists. And then if you look at the turnovers, you want to get even better.
6
that's
turnovers.
That's a 5-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio, which is unheard of. I mean, that would be blowing away people in the country, but 31
And you know what's funny?
assists.
And as we take the break, I still don't think you played your best basketball. You played good.
It's about, Chris, it's taken us 6 years for you to finally come over to the dark side.
Well,
you finally have come over to the dark side. No,
okay.
We did not play our best basketball, and we gave up a couple of runs, and we've got some things to improve. Too many offensive rebounds again, but you see signs of us getting better, and hopefully we can keep the focus. That's what Coach Russell said. Our big challenge with this bunch is going to get their focus to go to stay sharp for all these games, and it's a challenge for us every day, and that may be our Achilles heel right now.
Okay, we'll take a break. We'll come back and talk about the games coming up with Coach McMillan on the UT Martin Skyhawk Sports Network.